Whoo, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Thank y'all so much for dropping by today. You guys already know it's about to go down out here in these gaming streets, man. I mean, it's a point in time and a point in place for everything. The gaming industry is not for that. You should not be pushing politics in gaming. It should not be no identity politics in gaming. Do they not understand for the 1,000th time? How many times do we gotta tell them? We are trying to escape the real world. This is where we go to use our imagination. We want to be in our own world when we sit down and play a game. We don't want to be thinking about the outside world and all the struggles that come with it. We're trying to get away from politics. We're trying to get away from our jobs. We're trying to get away from everything that's going on in reality. But we can't seem to do that because we got so many idiotic politicians and lawmakers decided to go this route because they don't want to worry about real life stuff like helping people with inflation. You know, people are struggling, can barely pay their bills out here and eat. The cost of living is skyrocket. Look at cars, apartments, and housing. All this stuff costs an arm and a leg. We are just not going to go for this. The disrespect has to stop in the gaming industry. And they think it's a joke. After these games keep flopping, you know what I'm saying, on this remake station, that obviously nobody ain't supporting the games. They're just buying it for multi-plat games anyways because it's the most populous console that's been pushed for everybody to believe this little delusion that PlayStation is the best place to play. Well, obviously, half of the games it can't even run good. Some of these games come out so broken and buggy. Look at Spider-Man, Spider-Bug 2. You know what I'm saying? look at, you know, Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Even Black Myth Wukong. These games, they ain't even running good on PlayStation. And these fanboys taking it and running with it. See, the thing about this is this whole back and forth console war that's going on, that the Sony pony fanboys defend everything that Sony do. Whatever they do, they can't do no wrong. See, the problem with that is we got to understand gaming needs competition. This is the big threat. If gaming don't have competition, if we don't push back against woke politics trying to push all these agendas into our games to corrupt everybody, we don't push back on that. If we don't push back and protect Xbox and PC and Nintendo and cloud gaming from Sony's dirty tactics, oh yeah, we already know Sony is greedy, grimy, they're shady, they're low down and dirty, and they'll do anything for a penny. They will turn on their own mama for $1. Sony don't care, man. They're greedy. They will do anything to lock games down that don't even belong to them. They will go bankrupt just to keep games off Xbox. Where do you think half of Sony money is going? To lock these games down. Oh, Black Myth. Oh, nobody know what's going on. Everybody playing dumb. Concord probably got locked down. Jim Ryan. I can honestly say Jim Ryan did one thing right. Was he bought a flop. If he wouldn't have never bought this flop, this right here is the number one thing that can help us push these woke bastards out of the gaming industry that don't belong here. That's trying to confuse everybody. That's what the devil comes to do. He come to steal, kill, and destroy. That's all he doing. He is confusion. Why is the gaming industry even have to put up with this? Because that's the devil. These demonic demons have made their way into the gaming industry. See, as Christians, we still have to stand up for this and push back on it when we see fit. This is a necessary time, you know, to stand up for what's right, to give pushback on this. We know a lot. We got a lot of console war going on, a lot of fanboys going back and forth, but it's bigger than that because this right here is destroying gaming. It's funny, but then it's not at the same time. It's funny that it flopped. You know what I'm saying? But the agenda pushing, they just pretty much hired these people to work on Concord as temp service just to see if it'll work. They're paying taxpayer dollars. You know, BlackRock, Sweet Baby Inc. They're using taxpayer dollars, recycled money, to continue to push these woke agendas in the gaming industry. To pay people like Sony, the big time people. They own everything. So they're going to continue to push this garbage down our throat, whether we like it or not, but it has to keep flopping. So we need gamers to stay on top of this. We need the content creators Twitter, X, everybody to fight back against this, because I think it's going to be an ongoing war now, being that they made it a thing, being that politicians made this a thing to push the LGBT so hard into everywhere. They just want to force it on everybody. And if you give any pushback and you say you disagree with those politics, now you're the bad guy. See, there's no middleman. There's no referee in the middle to say, okay, time out, hold up. We are all adults here. Well, for most of us. And we should be able to have an adult conversation about this and say, okay, just because we disagree with politics, the pushing agendas, LGBT, transgenders in the games, they want to be a part of the gaming industry too, but this just ain't the place for y'all. Can y'all go somewhere else, another career? Can y'all find some other career that you can do? Go rip the runway, go be a runway model, go do something else that don't involve gaming and destroying gaming for us, because it's so uncomfortable for them to just force their way into AAA gaming. They ain't doing indie games. They ain't doing single A, double A. They want the biggest games out there. They want Spider-Man, Spider-Bug 2. That's why I don't like Spider-Man 2. Sony locked down a woke game. Square Enix knew Avengers should not have that little girl, Ms. Marvel, as the leading role in that game. Why was a little comic book? She's running around trying to find comic books. It just turned everybody off from the game because we already know it was woke. So they destroyed the game. This girl ain't no Avenger. They try to force her into the Avengers. All because of Sweet Baby Inc. always got to get they gotta get a little greedy, grimy hands and everything, little corrupted hands, and dig in the pot and say, oh, well, we want some say so too. So we're gonna either do some diversity here or some identity politics. We're gonna do something to corrupt something and just irritate the gaming industry, stir everything up. Like I said before, that ain't nothing but the devil. You gotta remember, the devil is the father of lies. That's all they do is lie to us. They keep telling us, oh, we're doing it for a good cause. Who? For who? If you created an entire gay, studio to only cater to gay people in AAA games, who is that for? It's not for the masses. It's not for the 99.9% of people out here. Clearly nobody wanted that game if it flopped that bad. Sony got to shut this game down. Game ain't even been out 2 weeks. That game was a bust. You mean to tell me you blew $200 million on some trash? These jackasses over there at these Sony studios, front office, don't know what they doing. They too old. They're trying to keep up with the new generation, Gen Z. They don't even, Gen X and boomers, these old dinosaurs over there at Sony front office trying to tell us what we should like. And why don't you just go back to the 90s and the early 2000s? Bring masculine games back. That's what's killing the game. Ain't enough masculinity in the games. These old shooters, first person shooters, these games was cool, man. Like Gears of War, the old Gears of War. Now they want women to be the forefront of games and everything. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. We're not saying we shouldn't have powerful women in games, women in power, man, and standing up for women rights, and they want to be treated equal, but only on certain things though. It shouldn't be forced on us. If a Wonder Woman game comes out, for an example, they want to push women to the forefront. Make a Wonder Woman game. Don't put a Wonder Woman. Don't either race swap, gender swap, and make it Wonder Man game. Like everybody gonna be like, what the hell is this? You see what I'm saying? You see where the confusion coming in at now? It's supposed to be a Wonder Woman game, but they made a Wonder non-binary game. Now we confused. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, but it says Wonder Woman, but it look like a man / non-binary. It's confusing everybody. Everybody like, what the hell is that? That's what I'm talking about. We don't need no confusion in gaming. We just want straight games, point blank, ABC. We don't want algebra. We just don't want this stuff. This is what is destroying gaming. This is what is destroying gaming. And it's good that we have so many gamers that stand up for this. You're gonna lose $200 million. You got to be the biggest jackass in gaming to think that's okay. The most delusion. That's why they call this anybody that's gay, they call that a mental illness. But due to politics and lawmakers, They have made it a thing now. They're pushing it. They're promoting it as it's a movement versus it's a mental illness. Some people need help. Some people are confused. They don't know if they're bi. They don't know if they don't know if this is what they really want. They're getting surgeries. You know what I'm saying? They're getting surgeries done to young people that their body not even fully developed because they're pushing this stuff on them, making them think that it's okay. But the long run, they're going to be sick and they're going to have to be on all this medication. You know what I'm saying? These are things that they're not telling people. This is just crazy. Why in the world would you push these things on people and not tell them the consequences? They're not telling people. They're just pushing these games on people, and it's an agenda behind it. It's a movement, and it's a demonic demons. It's demons and demonic devils behind this stuff. Why do you think when they throw their little parades, it's all demonic? You know, people half naked, showing all their parts in front of young people and all that stuff. It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. Why would you want open sexuality? This is supposed to be stuff private behind in your own bedroom. Who cares who you lay down with? Who cares who you sleeping with late at night? Nobody care about that. We are trying to escape the real world. That's not what gaming is about. Go make your own PC game. Go make your own mobile game. Go make your own Sims. If anything, why did they make a million Sim games for them? They can be in the Sims all day long because you customize your own character how you want, live how you want on Sims. Why are you trying to put it in AAA games that you know we gonna be like? They're trying to mix everybody together to accept this, and I'm so proud of the gaming industry right now giving so much pushback on this. One thing I can say, I am extremely proud of the gaming industry for pushing back on these gay games like Concord. Sweet Baby Inc. just destroyed Suicide Squad, killed the Justice League. We don't want these. Get them out of the gaming industry. They need to flop. You need to go completely bankrupt or almost go bankrupt so that you will stop pushing these things. You taking that upfront money, huh, Sony? That's what you're doing? This that upfront money. They putting the bag, they dropping the bag off at the studio, say, hey, look, all we want you to do is push these little woke agendas, you know, in every game, pushing for diversity, you know, identity politics, the LGBT, transgenders, you know what I'm saying, non-binary characters, doing race swaps, you know, pushing women to the forefront, like make them the superhero of the game, like emasculating men. Real men can't even get a game no more. Forbid they try to make another masculine type game. They don't even want that. Hollywood don't even want it. If you're a masculine man, a straight man, they don't even like you no more in the gaming industry. It's like, what is going on? That is fully corruption. Like, you're willing to lose $200 million to prove a point about how bad you want to push an agenda? You know how stupid you got to be? You got to be the biggest jackass in history. That's like you have a winning lottery ticket and you lose it. It falls down the drain or something. Or you misplace it somewhere, you can't find it. You know how stupid you got to be to misplace $200 million? And all you had to do was make a straight game. That's it. That's the only thing you had to get right, and you can't even do that. You dropped the bag on that. I want to know how much are they being paid from BlackRock and Sweet Baby Inc. for DEI. All this identity politics, pushing all these woke agendas. I want to know how much. I heard it was like from like 5 to 10,000 a day or a week, something like that. That's how much they were getting paid when I looked it up before. Now the number could have went down or it could have went up, but I heard it's a pretty large number. That it money. See, money can be the root of all evil. You're losing $200 million. I just want to know how much did you get paid to make the game? Like, I'm talking about each employee, each studio to do this. You if you take a L, right? And WB almost had to probably pretty much sell off half of everything, all their IPs, because they're about to go bankrupt because of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League flop. Why? Who? I want to know who sat at the board meeting and thought we would want to play with the Suicide Squad instead of the Justice League. It should have been Justice League versus Brainiac or something, or just a Justice League game defeating Brainiac, but he corrupted the Suicide Squad to fight alongside him. That would have been, because he would have been powerful, you know, he can make him stronger. But I'm trying to, figure out who thought that was a good idea. Who thought Concord would be a good game to release over, Spider-Man, multiplayer, or even The Walking Dead, The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? The Last of Us, you know, a zombie type game, you know, factions. Where's factions at? Where's Killzone at? Where's Resistance? Where's all these other IPs that Sony got? Even Sony CEO say they ain't got no games. Now, you know that's bad, bro. That's at the bottom. You got to be at the bottom of the barrel. He said we ain't got no new IPs. You know why? Because Jim Ryan spent all the money locking games down. I told you he was lying. He was crying. He was flying all across the globe, just locking games down left and right. Wondering why Black Myth's getting locked down. Wondering why some other new game that they said that the studio said that they want to put it on Xbox, but they're complaining that, you know, pretty much Xbox, they can't they tried to reach out to Xbox and Xbox didn't get back with them. And from what I was told, that story, some new game about to drop. I forgot the name of the game, in something or something like that. It's something. It's a new game about to drop on Xbox, and they said they told Xbox they wanted to make it for PlayStation and PC first. Now, when you go back and you look at that, you say, stop the cap. Now you're gonna come out and try to play the victim. You know why they're playing the victim? Because Sony broke. Things ain't work out because Sony already knew that is karma for you for locking down all these games, doing all these little exclusive backdoor deals behind Xbox back, PC back, Nintendo back, cloud gaming back, mobile back. These are all Amazon, everybody. Anybody that have a gaming or subscription service, a console, Sony locks these games down first. Now, whether they do good or whether they flop, Sony want full credit for both. Apparently they get credit for both. So if the game do good or if they take a L, and from what I heard, they're spending billions in this stuff as well. So these exclusives these timed exclusive and exclusive games, we don't know the price or how much because they keep that they brush it under the rug. They keep it under wraps. Like I said before, the fanboys and the ponies, they always defend it. So nobody really knows how much they are paying for these exclusive games. All these games going woke. Sony trying to get that upfront money to make more games exclusives and figure out how to dig themselves out of this hole that Jim Ryan created for them. Man, this sucker spent so much money on live service games, they had to cancel like 10 of them. They're like, man, why do you think they canceled so many? Because they couldn't figure it out. He tried to force all of his, single player studios to make multiplayer games. Insomniac, and we already know Naughty Dog. And we already know who's next. Santa Monica, God of War. They probably wanted to make a multiplayer game for God of War, but they didn't know how to go about it. They didn't know how to put the Spartan, or square off with all the characters in a battle royale or hero shooter. It just really didn't go with God of War. But we already know they wanted to do it probably. But it was like, nah, that's more of a single player type game. That one you really can't do too much with. Horizon. Why didn't Horizon Zero Dawn? Why didn't something like that or why didn't they do something of that nature? Or Forbidden West. Why didn't they do a multiplayer with that game or a battle royale or something like that with that type of game with all the characters? Why are you gonna try to lock down games, make live service games? These are all the dirty tactics that Sony is doing. Sony is locking down games that's not even their studio. They're getting all these exclusive rights, doing all these backdoor deals, and now all of it's coming to light. Now y'all seeing what I've been saying for years. I've been saying this stuff for years. Sony been doing these exclusive backdoor deals behind Xbox back for how long now? Forever and a day. Since the early 2000s. That's why Xbox was like, man, that's why we have to buy publishers, because Sony already slipped in the back door and dropped the bag off. So everybody's wondering, why aren't these AAA games, how is all these games missing Xbox platform or PC or Nintendo, cloud gaming, mobile? How is this even possible that a big game like this is missing it? Because these deals have been done out 3, 4, 5 years already before the game even released. They already did the dirt. So when the game do drop, by then Sony made a little more money. So if they say, well, I don't know, we're gonna need a little extra money, this game don't like it's gonna do that good, or we're gonna need some more money because this game is gonna take a little longer to make. So by then, Sony been made a little more money. They can drop the bag off again. So that's how. So for exclusive costs, let's say time exclusive 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, 500 million. We don't know. Nobody's saying how much. Nobody say how much. They just say it's time exclusive. It's got to be a deal. 100 million, 200 million. If I come to you, right, and I drop, 100 million, off to you to say, hey, I want a time exclusive. Are you really gonna turn that down? And you trying to keep the lights on at your studio already, and you're already kind of down bad at home, and you're just trying to make it. You're just a studio trying to get off the ground. Are you really gonna turn 100 million, 150 million down, and it's already costing you 200, 300 million to make this game? You're gonna take the bag. Sony know that, and that's why they say Sony got a few billion laid to the side for these exclusive deals already. We heard the tactics. We already know the strategy, but it ain't really working because Sony ain't really got no marketing and hype behind them. Because you know why? They don't have Game Pass. They don't have something to hype up behind the game. They want to charge you $70 for each game. These ponies paying $70 for games that come out broken and buggy. Now, does that sound like a sweet deal to you? We already know, and it's another thing too. Not only Concord is the biggest flop, that Sony got to be the biggest jackass in history to lock a woke game down like that, but we know BlackRock and Sweet Baby Inc. dropped the bag off to Sony, and we know how greedy, grimy, shady, low down and dirty Sony is. Now, I am so tired of this argument of the Xbox Series S, the baby Xbox, the S. Keep hearing these same complaints over and over again. Oh, it's holding gaming back. The Xbox Series S is holding gaming back. They should just make them for the X and bring it out on the S later. S this, the S that. S Menno Johnson. Wow. Now, that right there is all cap. Because we already know majority of PS5 games is on PS4 too. Most of them are on PS4 and PS5. Sony don't want to lose that extra bag because we know half of those fans and half of those fanboys are still on PS4. A lot of people didn't even upgrade yet to the PS5. So how could the Series S is more powerful than the PlayStation Pro, PS4, PlayStation Pro? And you're saying that the Series S is holding it back. That right there is a narrative that they're going to run with because they ain't got no games. PS4 ain't got no games, so PS4 and PS5 for that matter don't have nothing but multi-plat indies. You know what I'm saying? And they're stealing IPs for doing these little exclusive backdoor deals, but Sony don't own these studios. So instead of buying these studios, they're running people's studio into the ground because they're manipulating people with money. They're signing their life away to the devil. They're signing on a dotted line. And once they sign on a dotted line, Sony dropped the bag off. That ain't nothing to them. They feel like, okay, well, we gonna make that money back off your game anyways. So you may not get nothing extra out of it, but you already signed on the dotted line and you didn't read the fine print. Just like Bungie. Bungie was a bust. They dropped what, 3-4 bill on Bungie. Bungie ain't doing nothing but collecting a check at this point. Sony's still paying on them. So how is Sony going? Sony's still paying on Bungie. How are they gonna pay Concord employees to do a live service game that already done went bankrupt? The game already shutting down. It only sold 25,000 copies. That's it. That's all you can pull with a AAA game that Sony's supposed to have 60 million people supporting it. Pony's been capping for a real long time, y'all. This been going on for a really, really long time. That's all you can pull in is 25,000. Probably less than that. It's probably more like 15, but you know how Sony like to up the numbers. That'd just be a rumor come out. Man, it's all cap. And then on top of that, from what I've seen, they got scalpers are trying to sell the hard copies, you know what I'm saying, to capitalize off the failure of Concord. So you got scalpers on eBay trying to make a profit off of the hard copy games, off of the CDs. That's crazy. I heard somebody say eBay the scalpers are making more money than Concord Studio. Got him. Hey man, listen. Hey man, say man. A failure is a failure. They gotta take this L, and they just gotta take this L. Ain't no way around it. This ain't no W for y'all, man. You see some fanboys try to flip it and spin it. Now, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, like I say. Sony, you're about to run this studio into the ground, that's a shame, but they deserve it, just like y'all deserve it, because it's y'all karma. Y'all took the bag, just how y'all are dumb, a bunch of jackasses up there at Sony front office, all the CEOs, Yoshitoshi over there, he already told y'all ain't got no games. And just like y'all stupid for taking the bag from BlackRock and Sweet Baby Inc., these studios that keep flopping all these games, they just as dumb as y'all. So it's just a bunch of dummies in a circle sitting at the table. But I think I'm gonna leave it right there, man. I think I done roasted these clowns long enough. I think they pretty much get the point. I just really want to say I really appreciate everybody that's standing up for what's right, because this right here is a serious matter. As much as I want to make fun of it, it still is a serious matter, because this is a real big problem. It's a problem. We need to get them out of the gaming industry. They are destroying games because of this. Concord, if that game would have came out as a straight game for straight people, we probably wouldn't even be having this discussion. That game probably would have went viral already. Probably would have already went platinum. But the fact that they're pushing agendas out here so heavily, and we're playing games to escape the real world, is just a sad thing that we can't even do that no more in peace. We have to pretty much give up our favorite hobbies because of politics, and lawmakers are signing on the dotted line to distract us from what's really going on. That they're milking everybody due to politics. They're sending all our money across seas. The migrant crisis, the immigrants, these are all problems that they're trying to distract us from by pushing agendas, these woke garbage agendas, and confuse us. So now we want to escape the real world, but we can't. They're making sure if they're miserable, we're gonna be miserable too with them. But they're spending millions and billions of dollars in this stuff. I just don't get it. Like, what jackass had this much time to sit here and think about, well, how can I just ruin gaming for everybody? How can I just piss everybody off today? If they keep doing this, the whole entire gaming industry is going to crash. And that goes for Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, cloud gaming, Apple, Google, whoever. Stop pushing this woke garbage. We don't want it. We don't care who feelings get hurt anymore. We grow a backbone, grow some balls, stand up for yourself for once in a while. Some people, I don't want to talk about it. Hey man, you need to talk about it, because they're going to keep destroying your favorite. Pretty soon it's going to make it to some of your favorite games, and then it ain't going to be so funny. You know what I'm saying? Because now that game is flopping. They already see what they try to do to Halo. They even, the LGBT, they even took over Halo with trying to make flags all up and through Halo. Stop, I'm telling you, Uncle Phil, Microsoft, don't do it. This stuff will get you canceled. They already tried to cancel Halo already for that. So they got to chill with this, trying to push these agendas, because this is offensive to straight people and Christians. I don't understand how they don't see it or they don't care. But now they should, because if Concord flopped like this, and it's just a wake-up call for the entire gaming industry. We already know that they know for a fact we don't want it. But the money is what's talking. That's why Sony is doing it. That's why Microsoft is doing it, and everybody else. Cloud game, whoever, PC, whoever. That's why they're pushing it. There's money behind it. You're not going to push nothing like this unless it's a big bag behind it. And from what I'm hearing, it's BlackRock money, Sweet Baby Inc., and taxpayer dollars. So you're paying for them to push something back in your face. That's like a spit in the face, a slap to the face. Like, for real. You mean to tell me all the taxpayers out here is paying for woke garbage that we don't want? Are you serious? They deserve to flop. All these studios that's making this woke garbage, I will tell you to your face. You deserve to be fired. Each and every one of your studios shot down and never to return. Go to another industry and ruin that industry. We don't want you here in gaming. This is a place where we come to chill, relax, get our mind off of things. A hard days of work, and you come home and you gotta be pissed off looking at a game that you thought was gonna be a banger, and it's a flop. That is so disturbing to me. Like, that just grinds my gears that they're allowed to get away with this and the gamers don't have no say so. It's like we can't sign petitions or nothing. We can't even get them out the gaming industry. I'm trying to figure out how can we just flat, I guess, not support it. I guess that's the only route we can go. We just can't support it because these jackasses over there at Sony trying to keep the lights on. You know Sony broke. Microsoft got the money, but they just being greedy if they take the money to do it. Nintendo, they just being greedy if they take the money. We know the Switch sell like hotcakes. Google, Apple, they greedy if they take the money. They'll accept this devil work. These demonic demons destroying the gaming industry, bro. This is destroying the gaming industry because of this. And we can't say nothing because they're so sensitive. That's another thing. You can't say anything because if they are part of LGBTQ, if they are woke, they're non-binary, or they want to fight for women empowerment or identity politics, whatever agenda. It's so many now. You can't even keep up. It's too much. It's too much. We don't even know what to keep up with no more. That's why I say it's the devil. It's confusion. Like, I don't even know what to call it anymore. At this point, it's just too much, bro, and it needs to stop because now it ain't even funny. It's like, bro, y'all making people lose 200 million and everybody got to get fired. Can't even make a part 2, part 3. That's over. That's dead. You already know this game dead. Done flopped. And you got some people that's agreeing with it. You got ponies, Sony ponies defending this garbage, talking about this game was a classic probably. Like, come on, man. We don't care about graphics that bad. We don't care about CGI cutscenes that bad. It's not worth it. It's not worth all the trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already heard somebody say this. They say, man, it's too much trouble than what it's worth. It's not worth all this trouble. It's just a shame that we got to go through this. It's sad, but I'm gonna leave it right there, man. Y'all guys already know what to do.
All right. So if you guys would like to be notified on all of the latest news out here in these streets, man, make sure you guys smash that like button, click that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you would like to support the channel, the link will be in the description so you guys